and welcome to Melanin and Cocktails. My name is Charlotte, and tonight I am drinking a lemon, a cello, a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. I am here with Amanda. Amanda, what are you
Hi,
drinking?
I am Amanda, and I'm drinking my good old-fashioned whiskey. Christina, what are you drinking?
Hi, I'm Christina, and I am drinking a mellow burgundy from Galliano Winery, and it's delicious. Irena, what are you sipping on tonight?
I am sipping on red wine. Brand is unknown, but it came from Tarjay.
Oh,
Tamara, what are you drinking?
Hi, I'm Tamora, and tonight I'm drinking, and I'm almost done with, a vodka tonic with lime.
nice. Well, ladies, let's get the party started. So this past Monday, you know what? I should think of an intro. The Bachelor Report. Bachelor Report. Bachelor Report. We're going to talk about the Bachelor. He is the first African-American Bachelor.
Person of color.
Race. His name is Matt James, two first names. It was interesting. There were 32 women from diverse backgrounds that are vying for the love of Matt. What did you guys think about it, Tamara?
Well, I'll start because I watch every show, and it was nice to see. You know, he's a nice looking guy. He's tall. It was interesting to find out that he's actually biracial. His mother is white and his father's black.
I didn't see it.
Right? He's like Tamara and me's complexion. It's like how?
He you know, it's an unnoticeable type of mixed dude. So
Noticeable.
Yeah, he seems very nice. He had his manners about him. Yeah.
Christina, because you watched too. What were your thoughts when you saw it?
I liked it. I mentioned to you guys, I wish that it was not just that he's not so much put out as just being the first African American, because of the fact that I understand the fact, because he ended up complaining about it. It's like, I have technically two sides, and he doesn't want to let down either side because he knows black people are gonna be mad if he takes home somebody who's not black. It's like, this was your chance. So,
you know what, even if we didn't want to make it a big deal, it's a big deal because the show has been on for I don't know how many seasons now. So I mean, we just barely had our first black bachelorette, about 3 bachelorettes ago. So it's a big deal, but yeah.
And I love how they can't swing in another black chick during all this time, or an Asian lady by now, an Indian lady. Like they really are like, no, white is only, we're gonna give you one black one time.
Right.
And then they were like, and we'll give you an old.
Exactly.
She's 39.
Thinking that too. It's like, that was offensive.
Yeah. Here on Bachelor, we're diverse. Some of the highlights were
because it was the first black bachelor. It was a big deal. I wanted to see the women that they chose. This is the most amount of black potential wives I've seen.
Right.
And I think they also had
pick one of them.
Asian girls. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it pans out. I'm interested to see if it stays pretty even. I love that the one girl showed up with her natural gosh, what is it called?
She's stunning. I'm trying to find her name.
The Ethiopian one?
Well,
right.
No, the Ethiopian girl was beautiful. I'm talking about the one that had the big chop.
Chelsea.
And she was working that dress. Yes, Chelsea.
She was
the one who genuinely had no hair.
Gorgeous, cheekbones, everything.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Yeah.
And yes, beautiful dress.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw something today that was saying, but I couldn't actually get to it, but it was saying that the producers try and get different ladies to wear similar dresses. So I think my idea of standing out in a suit would not even be allowed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I mentioned that she wanted to wear a pantsuit if she were on the show, like a really sexy dress pantsuit. And I think that would be hot. But
the one girl did come with a kind of short dress that had the feathers.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was different. The rich girl.
She stood out. She was quirky.
She
Any early
looked like the girl from Queen's Gambit. Did you not think that?
Yes, yeah. People
Mhm.
said she looks like the actress from Queen's Gambit.
Mhm.
Any early favorites that you guys are predicting?
The North Carolina girl. I don't remember her name, but I thought that was cute. Them hanging out in the back of the pickup truck and stuff.
Mhm.
I thought he had a connection with. I wrote her name, Mari. She's 24. She's from Puerto Rico, and she kind of was talking
Yes.
about her family being displaced, and I think so, right? And
Yeah, and then the mean girl who brought her own friend, yeah, messed up their moment, but she's still on the show.
you know, we
Let's talk about that for a second, Queen, and then send the ballerina home. But
Oh,
I know, like I said, the producers are going to be like,
Yeah, I
"Look, we
hated
have
that.
some of the troublemakers," because he looks sad to see her go.
Oh yeah,
Right?
he was sad to see all the women that he had to send home. Compared to, not to be mean about her, I mean, but you could totally tell she's a plant that was put there to, and just even when she went over to the one group of ladies and, no, you should go and talk to him. Do it.
I talked to him twice.
Okay, and I'll be back. I mean, that's all. The thing with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is, it's totally staged, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Okay, we're boring Amanda and Arena. Let's go ahead to the next topic.
Awesome. So the next topic was travel post-COVID, right?
Right.
So, I know like for us being friends, we share a lot of posts about beautiful places we would love to go. And
Amanda on the daily.
Yes.
On the daily. That's my stories.
In a hot tub, looking out at a picturesque view.
Or a bathtub, and it's
Yes.
like someone really just in a tub looking, and it's like, really? What they do that at?
Where do they do that, Amanda?
Go ahead, Charlotte. What were you
No,
saying?
like the
No,
Maldives
I'm going
and
to
stuff.
open this to you guys. We're, in this post-apocalyptic COVID world, when it hopefully ends, where do we want to travel? Where do we want to go to? Who will let us in?
With that part.
Exactly.
You're putting Americans on lockdown everywhere. They don't-
Right?
Well, I said before that I would love to go to the Maldives. That is my #1 destination that I really need to get to. The whole bungalow over the water, the jacuzzi tub on the patio, and you can just jump right into the ocean. I love it. So I would definitely go there.
You can see the bottom of the ocean and stuff.
And stuff, yeah.
Last bottom head.
You can see.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Anybody else?
Christina?
Christina.
I want Maldives, Bora Bora, Fiji. I've always loved their water, so I've always sworn that I also wanted to go there.
Their bottled water.
Yes. So I've always wanted, but I know I really do want to experience the overwater bungalow.
Right.
Goals. Also, though, I would like to get to New York and Boston. I really love the accent there in Boston, and I think it'll make me
out of here.
And then I've always wanted to go to Maine and have some fresh lobster.
Me too.
Oh, and Nova Scotia, Canada, if they'll allow us after they built the wall, saying no more Americans.
Why Nova Scotia?
Because I heard it's like the Hamptons.
And why not just go to the Hamptons?
Because I want to go to Nova Scotia.
I would love to
try to go out of the country. So.
Exactly. And I already said New York, so I could still try and make it to the Hamptons anyways.
Right.
But that movie Jumping the Broom, that was shot to be like the Hamptons or whatever, but for some reason.
I love that movie. I just watched it not too long ago.
Wasn't that?
I
I
finished
thought that
it
was
to the
supposed to be
end.
Martha's Vineyard.
It was supposed to be,
Oh.
but I watched it to the end. That took place in Canada. And that's why I was like, I gotta go. And that's why it's been on my radar ever since, because I'm like, I fell in love with it then, thinking it was, Martha's Vineyard.
Where's the place in Canada that's supposed to be beautiful? Oh, well, all of it is, but it's
Montreal.
Banff.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're super smart. We don't always
saying
know
it
what
right.
you're talking about.
I've only been to Whistler, Canada, nowhere else.
I've been to Victoria, and that's very beautiful and quaint. I'd love to go see Toronto. Queen Edward's Island, where they, shout out to Anna Green Gables. Shout out to my girl Anne. Yeah. Arena, what about you?
I too would like to stay in an overwater bungalow at some point in my life. But I think after quarantine,
If anyone's listening, we would totally, review one for you. We have passports. We have passports on the way.
They're ready to go.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Okay, continue, Irina.
So that, but I think after quarantine, I would want to go somewhere, believe it or not, that was like, not that I would want to be partying or anything, but I would want to go somewhere that was slightly more lively. Just like, because I think going to somewhere else where I'm going to be completely by myself at first is that calm. It's like,
right.
Yeah, no, you need something with a little bit more spice, at least for the first trip.
Irena, I thought you liked the calm.
I do.
But she said
I've
she's
been in the
tired
house
of it.
for a year.
So we're taking her to Vegas.
Hey,
Yeah. No, that'll, like I said, at first.
Walking with
Then
the
I'll go
daiquiri.
back to, back to my serial killer vacation in the middle of the forest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or Palm Springs or any of my normal low-key places. But outside the country, the Maldives for sure. I always wanted to go to Switzerland because it looks really pretty.
Mhm.
I would like to go to Costa Rica, like I've always said. And I would like to go, believe it or not, I would like to go see like Mayan ruins or whatever. So wherever they have stuff like that, I'd like to go.
Yeah.
Tamora, Amanda.
Well, I think Maldives across the board for everyone. That's everyone's number one place, except for Christina. She wants to go to Nova Scotia. But yeah, I would like to. Any type of island vacation is always my first, go-to type of trip. But in addition to that, I would love to visit like the castles of Europe. Just to see. I mean, I want to see where King Henry VIII had his wives beheaded. I want to see. I want to go to Ireland and pretend I'm in the movie. With the redhead girl? Brave. I love. Yeah, I just want to go and run through. I want to go to Austria and sing "The Hills Are Alive" at the Sound of Music.
Definitely.
So I like to see stuff. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said you sent me one castle and it was so beautiful. It was in the
man.
snow. So I have to remember where that was at.
Yeah, I don't remember where it is, but I like that kind of stuff. And then when you see posted, it's like a little quaint little village with a cobblestone road. I just want to go and walk along it and take a picture of me walking along that cobblestone road.
Not to cut off
Make sure you
Amanda.
have comfortable shoes.
That's
Yes.
my that would be my number one trip.
Which one?
Cobblestones?
Although that would hurt my feet. A whole European adventure. That's what I want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Amanda?
Oh, I said the Maldives.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't remember. I don't know these things. Oh, but let me ask you girls. I'm sorry. The lemon cello.
It makes her forget.
So are we going, how are we doing these trips? Are we going by ourselves? Girls trip? Taking our significant other?
Well, it's taking Irena to Vegas, so there's that.
Oh, well, a girls trip to Vegas is always a good thing. But for me, I'm single. I'm very much single. So I would do.
You're ready to mingle, boys.
Ready. So I would do actually a trip by myself. I know that's the new thing, encourage Black women to start traveling by themselves. I don't have a problem with that. I would, of course you research and see what's the safest place to stay, but I would do that. If I had a boo, I'm good either way. Girls trip by myself. I want to take it all once COVID is over.
The thing about traveling by themselves, after a while, I'm going to want to talk. I might make friends with somebody at the next table or at the bar, and then I'll come up missing. So I don't know if I can do it by myself.
Don't come up missing.
I've ended up. I
come look for us.
Ends up befriending the wrong person.
No, I talk to strangers all the time. You just have to be careful and be aware of your, surroundings.
Yeah.
Well, they have trips actually for single people that you can, meet with people once you get to your, destination. I always thought that would be amazing to go to. And I actually had a coworker who did that, and she went to Germany and she's like, oh, I had a great time. So.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely do that.
I'm like Tamara though in regards to like the talking to strangers. Like I wouldn't be able to just do.
Christina, you
Alright.
love everybody. You are so friendly and
No, I know.
And that's
But,
the problem.
but I'm going to like similar to her in regards, like I will get stolen. Like
Oh, you want us to see the abandoned warehouse? Okay.
And that's what I mean. You got to be smart about it. Nobody here is going to go and see an abandoned warehouse with any of these weirdos.
girl, but you didn't hear how they said, like, it looks so nice. Like,
You
this
just have to get into the windowless van.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly. They said that they had just reupholstered the windowless van. So, like, it's a whole vibe.
And then the thing is, if I end up kidnapped and caught up in the sex trade, I'm too long in the tooth to be, one of the girls that end up on some yacht with some foreign prince or something. I'll be somewhere in an alley. I
always
just
feel that they're going to be like, no, we don't want you.
yeah, no, send her back. She's too old.
But no, I have skills.
Next topic.
Right.
Now, Arena, if you go by yourself, well, Arena travels by herself sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, but here in the States, I've never gone abroad. Speaking of the group tours, I really did come this close to taking a tour to Croatia last fall because they said that was a good time and the price was like really good and it was with a tour group and everything was regimented. Normally I don't like that, but if I was going to go alone, that would be fine. And it wasn't like a singles one, it was just a regular. So I don't know who I would have been there with. In the pictures, it looked like mostly like middle-aged older people that were there, but I'm good. I like old people. So that would be great.
They like me.
Yeah. And so I would totally go, especially like if I was going to go alone overseas, I'd probably pick tour groups like that at first. And then depending on where I was going, because there's some places like Tamara was saying, you can look up places that are good for solo female travelers. And some places just aren't good for them, period. Right. And so, like, those places I would probably just avoid altogether. But if not, if they have low, like Croatia has like a,
you want to say that again, maybe?
Spectacularly low. Croatia has a spectacularly low crime index. So their crime index is like 1. And so that made me feel better. And I probably would have done it. I should have done it. Especially I would have done it had I known how 2020 was going to be.
Right?
I didn't. But yeah, I mean, but here it's like, I've never felt scared. But of course, I've only gone to certain types of places. Like I've never gone anywhere sketchy by myself.
And, if you know something and live in it, it's common to you, right? So travel. Let's do it. And
2021 eventually, hopefully.
2022.
Yeah.
Look, I'm okay with it because I'm waiting for my passport. So I can't
same
go
here
for another 4 or 5 months anyway.
Yeah, I'm waiting too.
I renewed my passport like before COVID.
Oh, did you?
Aww.
No, hopefully they give you like an extra year on it because it's only good for 10 years.
They should.
Yeah, they should.
They should. No, it's 11 years now.
Not my fault.
So let's head into our relationship part of the program. Hello, and Christina, who's that with you?
This is Ryan.
Hey, everybody.
He's my husband.
Oh, that's good. And Tamara, who's that with you?
This is my husband, Andrew.
Hi, everybody.
And for both of you, how long have you been married?
It'll be 2 years on the 20th.
And it was just past 20 years.
Wow. But pretty much just the same.
Same skin in the game.
Give or take a 0.
We wanted to invite the gentleman in because our relationship topic for tonight was what's worse, physical or emotional cheating? Ooh. Who should we start with?
We're still going in alphabetical order.
Amanda.
Well, for me, I think emotional cheating is worse. And not that I would want my husband or partner to physically cheat on me, but I think that's something I can get over more than the emotional thing. Because when it's emotional, she's giving you something that I'm lacking. And instead of you coming to talk to me in order for us to fix that, you're going to another woman to fix it. And emotional for me, I can't take that. I'm done. But physical, not that I want it to happen, but that's something you can definitely get over for me.
Right.
What do you think, Christina?
I think Charlotte should go.
Okay, go ahead, Charlotte.
No, I mean, I think they're both really bad, and I would be hurt if my husband conducted himself in either relationship where, I mean, I kind of understand your point, Amanda. I think like if Zach was to be like my best friend and it's this girl, then it would be like, well, wait, is it because she can talk about sports or something that I can't? Like, what is it? And so, of course, that would make me feel insecure and unloved, and it would be pretty devastating. But physical cheating would also be pretty horrible. I mean, and then all the things that come with that of, sometimes unplanned pregnancies or him bringing something home. I mean? So to me, it's just a dozen of one, six of one, half a dozen of the other. I think it would not be a fun period. Christina, what about you?
I'm with Amanda in regards to, for me, it would be emotional, what I think would hurt the most. Physical, I'm still going to want to pick up something and hurt you, but emotional would be more devastating because it's like you've invested more. Like, not that you didn't have to talk to her a little bit to get to a physical, relationship, but emotional, like you've shared things and you're not sharing with me. You see something in her, she's able to comfort you or please you in another way, emotionally, intellectually, whatever. And so, yeah, that would hurt. Because also it's like that for sure, I can't compete because like I was already here talking to you and turns out, but you were still talking to her way more.
You didn't find me interesting.
Right. And I'm gonna then give it to Ryan. That way it's not something weird.
So I think Charlotte kind of started going towards that direction. Emotional cheating can get you pregnant. And I think that's very difficult to get over. Me being a man, I don't want, I think it's more, I don't want anybody, touching my wife in that way. So I think the emotional aspect of it, that to me is a lot easier to be fixed. I think the emotional side of it, you can, if it's bad enough, you can relocate and then you kind of cease that emotional connection, but that physical goes forever. So my side would more, my thought would be the physical cheating would be worse than the emotional.
Okay. Your thoughts? Oh, wait, Charlotte, you want to?
Well, I was just going to say for our viewers, someone jumped into the conversation. Who are you, sir?
We know him.
Lafayette. Say hi, Lafayette.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Sorry that I'm late. I was on another podcast.
No, we're not going to speak.
Right? We don't need to talk about that.
But I mean, it's not as great as melanin and cocktails, though.
It is not.
Of course not. Of course.
Yeah, what's up?
I had to hurry up to get off of that one to come and join y'all. And I needed a charger because my phone battery was dying.
I gotcha.
What's the topic?
We're doing good. Just to get you up to speed, we're talking to everyone and we're asking a question about it's our relationship topic for that evening about emotional. Do we feel that emotional cheating or physical cheating is worse? Which one would be worse for us, I guess, is what we're asking.
Arena.
Okay, Arena, what do you think?
I'm gonna kind of parrot what Amanda and Christina said. I feel like it would be worse if it was emotional cheating. Just because, like, for you to form an emotional connection to somebody, you have to put kind of effort into it, and it happens over time. And so that means you would have been doing this while we're together, developing this connection with this other woman, and I'm right there. And it's like, I don't know, that would just bother me in and of itself. But physical, you could be drunk and, have a one night stand, and that would be it. Not that that's good or that I'd want
exactly,
but it would be, that doesn't. That's just sort of like a one-off. But emotional is a lot more deliberate. And like everybody else said, it's like, I would want to be my husband's closest female friend. And so the fact that somebody else got that close to him right under my nose would just bother me. I don't know if I could
Can't sleep at night.
Right. So who's taking it next? Tamora?
Yeah, I'm taking it next. I would have to agree with the emotional over the physical, being that, I mean, they're both would be horrific, but the emotional part of it, and even more so than what Charlotte said, she was like, oh, because she can talk about this or do this, and you have your platonic friends of the opposite sex. But when it goes to the point of she's who you're thinking about during the day, you can have your female friends, but now this girl is someone that you're thinking about. This girl, and even if you're not sleeping with her, you want to, so you're lusting over her, and that's going over in your mind, and that can be more vibrant sometimes than the actual, act itself. So while both would be horrid, it would hurt my feelings to know that someone else is your joy. Someone else is, who, just like I said, who's just who you're thinking about, who you want to be with, who you're lusting over.
Yeah, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Andrew?
And I would say that I would first address that I don't think you would necessarily always be lusting over that person. People make emotional connections all the time. And they make them on different levels, where we are emotional with our friends, with our parents, with our kids. We're emotional in different ways, though.
Okay,
and so,
therapist.
Right.
No, I mean, right. I mean, but to think that you would be lusting over somebody just because you had this, because that was the attachment. Men are less emotional, right? So I would say right off the bat, Ryan, I'm kind of with Ryan on this one, that men are less emotional. So for me, that would hurt me less than knowing my wife slept with somebody else. Like that would to me would be the end all be all, right, for me. But the other, because I think you make attachments in a different way. And I think you can get past some of those things, especially from an emotional standpoint. I think there's some places and areas where you can grow, and you can heal that a lot better. I feel like you can heal a lot quicker from an emotional attachment that somebody had, because it is exactly like you lady said, what was I missing? What haven't we talked about? What am I missing out on? What am I not doing? What am I not feeding into? Those sort of things. And so that we've not made this emotional connection that required him to make an emotional connection someplace else, that's easily fixed. Once you
should have fixed it before you started talking to her.
Exactly.
And so true, right? If you could have, but sometimes you don't know those things, right? Some people fall into those. You kind of fall, lots of that you fall into somewhat. The other things, especially from a man's perspective, the physical is I think that's to have a wife cheat on you, and to me would be just the opposite.
Yeah, I think that's an ego thing too with men. It's like you don't want to think about another man ravishing your wife's body. That I think that's gonna, and then Ryan, thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Andrew.
Having your wife now come back possibly pregnant, and then that's something that you're gonna have to, live with for the next 18 years. That'll mess you up too. So I can see why men might lean towards one way and why women will lean towards another.
That's the least. I mean, I
can come home pregnant.
Well, you can't. No, I mean, but
well, hey, then.
We take that to the. That's like the nth degree. It's just the act itself,
Because I think it's easy to say the emotion. I don't know. In my opinion, it's easier to say the emotional would be a harder impact. But I think you women can all agree that if it was a physical relationship that your significant other was cheating on with, you're going to compare everything down from the hair to the skin tone to the whether she had new braids, whether she had a weave. I mean, you guys are going to take it from the very top.
Ryan is married to that girl.
You will break that person down.
Raggedy Ryan, is that why?
and then it will be, anybody from that point forward that you see that has the same hairdo that woman has, she's going to be dead to you as she's walking down. It's a perfect stranger.
You're absolutely right about that.
Think about it I think about it this way, and somebody said it. I think Raina said it. A man, it's very, there's no emotions tied to it. You could be drunk and talk to anybody, like guys talk to anybody like that, and that, unfortunately, right? So for men, they separate that. For a woman to step out of the bounds of a marriage, there's some emotional tie. You can't tell me that there's not. So
Oh,
you
that's
twisted
absolutely
the two
true.
together.
I have to
You
agree
had
with
to twist the two together because the woman doesn't step out like that. Typically would not step out. You don't see most in, I won't say all, right? But most women don't step outside of that bound of the marital sanctity just for a one night stand.
I
Just
agree.
because he look good without a shirt on. It just usually doesn't happen.
I was
Right?
just
So there had to be some emotional tie. So therefore, for me, you got both. When you came back and said, "Oh yeah, it was both. It was both of those things tied together."
Yeah.
Could I just say something really quick? And I don't want to like
course.
call out anybody, but a long time ago, I was in a relationship with someone and his wife ended up cheating on him. And anyway, to make a long story short, I was talking to my grandfather.
Wait,
You were in a
So
relationship.
you were the
with
mistress.
someone
No,
you want to break it down one more time for us?
and his wife.
no, sorry.
His former wife.
I got caught up. No, I'm just playing. No, I was in a relationship with someone. Previous to me, he had been married and his wife had cheated on him. And I remember talking with my grandfather at the time and saying, well, it was a really bad situation for him. And his wife, cheated on him. And how horrible is that? And he was like, you have to ask yourself why you do it. And that kind of made me pause and go, oh. And his perspective was kind of like yours, Andrew, of like women don't typically just do that unless there is some type of, and that's not saying, for all relationships or whatever. But Lafayette, what's your viewpoint? I'm sorry.
And so Lafayette, you're bringing us a single man's opinion, right?
Sure. But I have been married before.
Unmarried, sorry, unmarried.
Well, yeah, I've been married before, so I could kind of speak to both. And so for me, it's kind of like I think I'm a little bit different than what the fellas are saying. I would much rather have her have infidelity than have that emotional connection. But also what I was going to say has been said already as well. But I'll echo it because typically, if that emotional connection can run deep, right? Because we are yoked together, right? That's me and her. So if she is trying to poison or yoking by adding somebody else emotionally, to me that's a little rough, right? And as was said before, usually when a woman cheats, it starts off emotional. So if it was just like she was on vacation, got drunk, it was a one night stand, she's sorry for it, what have you, blah blah blah, that's something that I probably could get over. But if a person has my woman's heart and is in my woman's mind and in her head, then where is there a place for me, right? And the fact that it could get to that point, then that's kind of big because that will develop a big insecurity, and you will lose trust pretty quickly that someone was able to affect your wife or my girlfriend emotionally in that aspect. So for me, I guess I had to side with the ladies on this one.
Thank you.
I don't, I don't want nobody to be able to get to my wife the way that I can get to her emotionally, right? Because women are more emotional. So I think if you get to her emotionally, it will lead to getting to her sexually, right? So it's kind of like a snowball effect. So
That's a great analogy, the snowball effect, because it starts off as a small little pebble snowball, and then it's avalanche. So yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's those work husbands that some people have.
Right. I hate when people say that.
I know.
I was going to say that's a topic for another show. Are you okay with
That's
the work
topic for
husband,
another
work
show.
wife?
I mean, but that happens. If you're having problems at home and you have that work husband there that's there to listen to your problems and get into your brain, and then it leads to lunch and dinners, and eventually he's with your wife physically because he's gotten to her mentally and emotionally. So I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Last thoughts, Ryan? You had notes.
No, I was just, my whole life I worked in office buildings full of women, and I think it's one of those things where if they see a nice, from my experience where I've worked, if they see somebody who's willing to listen, a lot of times they instantly become attracted to that person, not physically, but just that emotional thing. But you know, I think it takes, that's not, to me, that's not as bad as taking it to that next step and actually having the physical interaction. Because I think once you have that physical interaction, there's no going back from that.
That's why I say you ask the question directly to the person, which is more difficult, which would be more difficult for you to overcome, you personally, right? So me personally, Ryan personally saying it's the infidelity, but what comes along with that is the emotional piece. We already know that came along with it. That's why I say, for me, if you said, yeah, I had this emotional relationship type thing, it never went anywhere, I think I could get past that. Like I could go further and I could get past that. But then to say, but I also I was not faithful to you as well. I already know the emotional piece came with it, right?
Unless, like you
now
said,
it's
it was a one night stand, drunk, it happened.
And if that
there was
happened,
no emotion there, right?
There was. There was.
You still talk to him or something.
For a man or a woman, there was something missing. There was something missing there, right? So to do that, we're not talking about single people. We're talking about a married person. So there's still something missing, right? I don't care how drunk I am. I don't care, you would be or anything like that. That just there's boundaries you just don't cross, right? That you
and
already
it's often an excuse people use. Well, I
That's
was
an
drunk.
excuse, right? It's an excuse. So I'd still feel the same way if my wife came home and said that, be like, okay, well, it'd be a different conversation. It wouldn't be,
Why did you put yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
That would be
There's a whole lot of questions, right? There's a whole lot more questions that go along with that.
If somebody is just, if someone emotionally cheats on you, my thought would be, well, do you even just want to be with me still?
Right.
Like, then what's,
maybe it's a cry for help. Maybe it's a cry for something different. So right.
You could have cried with your pants on and without talking to people.
I'm talking about emotion.
So I'm not saying physical. No, I'm not saying physical, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. Not the physical, the mental, right? It was a cry. That person doesn't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to do right. So that you go a different direction.
Right.
We do that, all the time. Like there's conversations that Tamora and I have that she has a different conversation maybe with you guys, and you have a different perspective on it, right?
Right.
Or with her mom or with her dad. We all are going to have different perspectives on it. So we can't all say we're cut from the same cloth. You're married, Shar, and you don't all agree. You don't agree with everything your husband says, and he doesn't agree with everything you say.
What? What have you heard?
What do you know?
What have you heard?
What did he
What
tell
have
you?
you heard?
I'm sure he agrees with everything you say. I take that back.
No, not at all. We both see the world kind of differently, but the same.
On the important stuff.
Does that make sense?
Charlotte, what would be Zach? You said you were going to speak for Zach. What would his?
Yeah.
Oh, channeling Zach.
Right.
What would Zach say?
Phone right now, so go ahead.
Yeah, I think Zach would probably echo just, honestly, kind of the times that we've had this conversation, his perspective has been, you don't physically cheat unless you emotionally cheat. So that was really what he said. Because obviously, if you're even trying to get something physical from someone, it's because you're lacking something, that you don't have with your partner. So that's from what I remember in our conversations about that. That was his perspective.
You can actually loop back to your guys' previous topic of friends of the opposite sex.
He's a listener, you guys.
Because
Paying attention.
yes.
Long time listener, first time caller. Love it.
Because the way I look at it is an emotional relationship without sex is a strong friendship or a very intense friendship. So it kind of, that's probably why there's a lot of people, myself included, who's uncomfortable with my wife having friends of the opposite sex. That's I guess it'd be more single friends of the opposite sex at that. But because there's different dynamics and there's different mindsets to
Right.
what kind of
He's not allowed any lady friends, married or single though, so not even eye contact, just.
Yeah, we had this conversation, and Christina was not down for you having any Fremo friends.
Oh, I know.
So at least they have the same agreement there. There is no conflict.
Right,
You can't have friends, you can't have friends of the opposite sex.
I wish I was a part of that conversation. Oh, well.
Right?
What are your thoughts?
Well, he wasn't a part of it. He doesn't listen.
Lafayette, what are your thoughts
We're
on
not
that?
going to have Lafayette's thoughts on this.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, he's
You know my
already
thoughts.
here.
You don't want my thoughts
Okay,
because
go
we'll go
ahead.
overtime. No, we'll go overtime. So I'll keep y'all on track.
No, we're fine. That's anyways.
Everybody.
My thoughts on having friends of the opposite sex. Now, are we talking about while married or dating?
Correct. Mine was when married.
When married. Friends of the opposite sex when dating. Now, is this friend also married or is this friend that's
You know
single?
what? You break it down how you need to hear it.
No.
Or explain it, okay?
Third one.
We already had this
Okay.
conversation, so just give us your thoughts.
So a single person being friends with a married person.
Right.
Okay, so I think true friends, you always will be friends, and you don't need to have that close contact with someone that's married. I think if I have female friends I'm really close to, and I think if they were to get married, I will still be that person's friend, but I'm no longer their support system. I'm no longer the person they need to call and comfort them or what have you, because they have somebody there for that, right? So I don't need to speak to them every single day, every week. We always will be cool. I mean, for example, I was married for 10 years, right? When I got divorced, those same friends I had was still there, and not much really changed. But while I was married, we weren't close. I mean, we weren't talking on the phone. We weren't seeing each other. We weren't doing none of those things, right? But once I got divorced, those same friends, they were still single, and they were still my friends. That we kind of picked up where we left off. So just because a person isn't present day to day, that doesn't change a person's friendship. If that person ever needed something, right, and I'm in a married state, and they came to me, now they're coming to not me, but me and my wife for maybe assistance, whether it's a financial thing or if it's something where they need help moving, because, something like that, then of course, then, that's my friend. I'm going to help them with that type of, especially in our age group that we're in now, you're going to have people that you have strong bonds with of the opposite
20s?
sex. Yes, in your 20s. Yeah. You're going to have strong bonds with people of the opposite sex that are strictly platonic. However, there's a certain decorum that you have to follow. And it's not a jealousy thing. It's just a time thing, it's an energy thing. I don't think that I would want my spouse to give energy that's reserved to me to her quote unquote guy bestie, right? Now he could come around. He could be my friend too. I think that was said last week. We all could be friends.
Thank you for listening.
And you're welcome. We all could be friends, and I'm not insecure about that. However, it won't be no like lunch dates I don't know about. It won't be any phone calls on the way to work that I don't know about or coming home. You know what I'm saying? Because to me that's not appropriate. And
I 100% agree with that.
What if the spouse
you?
doesn't like your friend?
We're not going to revisit the whole thing though.
Good point.
I see that we have a new.
I see someone's in the chat.
I think, yeah.
Right. So Charlotte, who's sitting with you?
Oh, hi. It's Zach, my husband.
Zach,
Oh, I'm here now. Okay.
Well, we're kind of wrapping up, but just to
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you the question that we're talking about, and you can give your perspective. Do you think that emotional cheating or physical cheating is worse for you? Which one is worse for you?
Is cheating in the name of both of those things?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Ooh.
So they're equally as bad.
Why do you think that? That's funny because that's kind of what I said.
It's betrayal regardless of.
Okay, you won the newlywed game.
right.
Yes, we get an award. We're not going to cheat on each other. Yay.
Imagine that.
Yay. they're equally the same. It's betrayal regardless of whether physical contact took place or not. Like obviously, like there's certain things that can be done if physical contact took place, but it's still betrayal. So there's been an introduction of a third party into a relationship that involves two people. And that third party was introduced without the blessing of both people. So it's betrayal, physical or emotional. It's honestly the same. It's like half a dozen.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's the same.
I thought you had to choose one. I thought you had to choose.
You do, but he's
down
very
the middle.
political.
Well, what
You're down the middle.
Yeah.
I told them,
Thank you, Switzerland.
what I told them
Like Zach, and like Ryan and Andrew feel like physical is worse. Lafayette feels emotional is worse.
But you can't just leave it. That's a dead bomb. You can't just leave it like that.
Yeah,
You gotta get-
Andrew feels that physical is worse because that means the emotional has already been bonded.
I'll put it to you this way. Okay, if one has to be chosen, I'll go with the one that can produce offspring.
that's what I said too.
I'll go with the one that can make a baby.
I don't know why everyone hates babies.
Fortunately, can make a baby, but
What I told them is that when you and I have had this conversation before, you said that really you can't necessarily have like physical cheating without the emotional something.
well, yeah, it's a two-way street.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Anonymous.
You're gonna something was wrong in the relationship that caused either one. And those issues, since they hadn't been addressed prior to that indiscretion taking place, they're issues anyway. So that's enough there to just for it to be betrayal. But the physical, because of the potential long-lasting effects, whether it be kids, STDs, all these kind of other things that can be introduced into the relationship, I would say it has a greater degree of severity, but it's still betrayal.
Who is she?
Who is she? Nobody.
You say who is she?
Nobody.
Who is she?
Well, you guys, this has been a really good conversation. What do you think?
I loved it.
I enjoyed.
I've loved having the husbands here in Lafayette.
Yes,
The husbands in Lafayette. It's a group.
right.
I'm gonna stage near you.
Yeah,
The husbands featuring Lafayette. Love it.
Lafayette and the husbands.
As long as I'm not Tito Jackson, then I'm good.
Tito was amazing.
For some reason, I thought you were talking about Joe Jackson. I'm like, wait, huh?
Tito.
But Tito, yeah.
Do you have any last
I know
thoughts?
Tito, but I don't know why I thought Joe.
No more zingers.
No more zingers.
Yeah. We need to find an end one.
Did you get enough time?
The end of
I didn't get the hour like previous guests had, but
Oh.
I'll take what I got.
Get what you get and you don't have a fit.
He was special.
Okay. Hey, how about we end the podcast?